Ask Tom on Home Show.
James from Edmond, Oklahoma has some popcorn ceiling issues.
Well, his cathedral living room ceiling has it, and he's considering, Tom, covering it up with a different kind of ceiling material. James writes, I'm considering ceiling tiles that glue to the ceiling after taking a rough rake across to knock off the worst of the popcorn. Or perhaps use a track system. I could fur it out about 3/4 of an inch, he says, and if any radiant surface pointing inward might provide some wintertime heating. Or I could use an acoustic, but would its insulation qualities need spacing or gap between the sheetrock above? So sounds like he has 3 choices. Are any of those the right one, or would you give him different advice?
If he wants to put a different ceiling in, fine. I know when we have our painter Rudy come out, they scrape those popcorn ceilings, they skim float it, they put a nicer, different texture on there and paint it. To me, that's what I would do. I wouldn't put a whole new ceiling on there. I just redo the texture on the ceiling and have it done at that. But if he wants one of those different types of ceilings, the first thing I would not do is glue anything to it, because there's chances are you're going to be sitting there with your snacks watching TV and you're getting one of those tiles right down in your plate. Letting go, because it's all going to be held up. You're gluing against joint compound and sheetrock paper, and that's not a good thing with a ceiling that's hanging over your head. You're going to probably lose pieces here and there. Now, when you put a acoustic ceiling in, or a metal stamp ceiling, or some of these other types, or even like, let's say you wanted to do wood, usually what you do is use 1x12s. No, excuse me, 1x4s, and you put them on 12-inch centers. I got to get my numbers right. 12-inch centers, and then you strip the whole thing, and then you staple or brad nail the new ceilings to it. But glue is not the answer.
So,
and the radiant barrier. I forgot that, Charlie. Radiant barrier does not work in this situation. You don't mess with that at all. Or insulation. It has nothing to do with insulation. This is purely something you're looking at and having it part of your ceiling. And if you do a metal stamp ceiling, remember it creates a huge acoustic problem in a lot of rooms, which can make listening to television or talking very uncomfortable.
It sounds to me, from all the options and we've gone through them, that it might be best to get a qualified painter in there who can get it all off like you're talking about, smooth, float it and paint it. Would that be? What about that solution?
Well, that's what I said. Like with Rudy here in Houston, he'll come in and he'll take those popcorn ceilings out just by scraping it. Now, getting a smooth ceiling is very difficult. That's a lot of work to do to get what they call a level. That's a lot of money if you want it super smooth. But someone like that can just scrape it all down in less than a day, have it all cleaned up, and then put a texture on there like a stomp and drag or a light orange peel, some kind of texture that you like, that you see in more updated homes today, and then paint it. I think that's the best option. I think that's the same route. I might not have explained it well, but you're right, Charlie. I think that's the best route.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I missed it when you did. But you don't have to miss a thing, though. Go to HomeShowRadio.com, click on the Ask Tom button, send it our way, and then we'll answer your question. And you have the luxury of rewinding it and hearing it again. I got to do it in real time. And Tom will give you an answer you can use. He likes to put a new one of these up every day. So go ahead and send us more questions and pictures, and then you can find one every day at HomeShowRadio.com, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel.